What's up, SPYM? Happy Friday. I hope your week has gone really well. And I'm glad you're joining again for the last devotional for this week, which is entitled Imitate Me. And we're starting in Philippians 3:17, which says this: Join with others in being imitators of me. Now, this is written by Paul. And, sometimes we could think, well, why would Paul be writing, telling us to imitate him? Right? It almost, when out of context, seems a little contradictory. And as our youth are growing and looking for role models, we want to make sure that we're looking for the right role models. Well, see, later on, when we really dive into Scripture, we see that in 1 Corinthians 11:1, Paul kind of clarifies a little bit. So he says this in it. He says, he specified to be imitators of him as he is of Christ. So Paul's not saying in this initial verse that you should copy what I do. It's not about what Paul is as a person. Or better yet, it's we need to imitate Paul, who is a reflection of Christ. So ultimately, through Paul, we imitate the actions and words of Christ. See, that's the important thing. And when we look at some of the examples of the saints, that's exactly what we need to do. Some of you are coming up to confirmation this year, and you have to choose a saint. And you may say, well, why? Why do I have to look at the saints? Well, it's actually really important because each saint has a specific personality trait. And through that personality trait, they come to following Christ in a different way. And who knows, some of those saints might actually have a lot in common with how you feel or the way that you live or even some of your talents. So it's through the saints that we look at as reflections of Christ. One saint may come this way and reflect Christ in this manner, and another saint in a completely different way. It's all a matter of how you can relate to the saints in order to see Christ clearer and therefore become more faithful and become more like imitating Christ. And that's huge, and I hope that you are encouraged to do that. Take a little time and check out some of the saints and say, hey, maybe, I'm this kind of personality. I wonder if there's a saint that kind of has dealt with the same thing. I can almost guarantee you there is. So take some time and check that out. Allow it to deepen your faith and allow it to free you to see Christ in a different way, in a way that you can relate to and therefore imitate more completely. Make sure you also check out some of the daily readings. They're always listed right below here. Let them expand your faith in a different way. All right, make sure you get into the Scriptures and make sure that you're diving deeper into your faith every day. We're praying for you, and we'll see you next week. Take care.